What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, what an interesting day. What a rip on the market. Pretty much a zombie grind upside the entire day. I started the morning, very nice. Had about $1,000 profits on the day, locked in majority of it. Coinbase puts, we had some IWM puts that I locked in, as well as some Amazon puts, locking in those profits as well. And then, right, I gave back some profits. I gave back some profits looking for a supply rejection of the Wednesday, Thursday highs on the S&P 500. Now, clearly, that level, that supply level, did not reject today. Now, I can happily say that I stopped out of the position. I took my loss because if I didn't do that, this would be a different video. But I did give back a good majority of my profits on the day because of me attempting that late day SPY put. So it's an interesting day for me, right? I'm happy that I traded what I did. I would never take back the trades that I took. They were all based off very key technical levels, and at the end of the day, I trust the levels that I trade, and I'm looking back at my trades, which we will do in today's video. I would have taken that trade 10 out of 10 times. Now, could I have avoided a late day trade? Could I have been happy with the profits I had? Could I have not taken another trade and just stepped away? Yes, right? That's probably the correct answer there. But this opportunity arose. It looked very good in my opinion. And unfortunately, I did get stopped out and I gave back some profits. So let's go ahead and review my trading day. We're going to review how I was up on the day early morning, gave back some profits, and overall, just a lackluster day for me. However, what a beautiful move on the market. After we review my trades, we're going to do a quick analysis on the futures to get an idea of what the hell happened today. So press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's jump into the charts. All right, guys, so here it is. Here's my day, $334 in profit. I am happy that it was a green day, but this day is It's not great. It's something that I need to step back and learn from. It's something that I need to really pay attention to. Not every green day is a good trading day, right? Something we need to know. Not every green day that we have is quality trading, top-notch trading, right? You need to be able to look back at them and understand what you did incorrect. So let's go ahead and zoom into this day today. I started the day. You can see that cumulative P&L. I was up about $1,500 on the day today and ended up $300. Now, I had good trades, right? I had very good trades. I closed my IWM put over the weekend for a great profit. Had a little bit of a loss there on Netflix that I closed. Had a Coinbase beautiful play there, as well as Amazon, great trade there as well. But I came in late, and I was looking for some SPY rejections, right? I came in late, and I let this one slip away just a little bit from me. But I did respect the levels I was looking at, and it ended up being a loss of about $900. So great accuracy early morning. Came in late for this SPY attempt, this downside attempt. And the NASDAQ was just pushing us and pushing us and pushing us. NVIDIA was just pushing us and pushing us. Something I could have realized and maybe stayed away from. But here it is, right? We learn from it. We analyze it. And I use these YouTube videos to learn myself and to hopefully help you guys learn as well. So let's go ahead and dive deeper into today. And let's talk about the trades that I took. Right? So let's go into first the IWM put. We'll go quickly over this one. This is just a swing trade that I had from last week. You guys can see I entered up here on that 196 supply, closed them pretty much early this morning for a nice profit there. All right, so that's really that. That was just closing out a swing trade. So is Netflix. You guys can see right here. Opened some Netflix swings last week, right in this general area, right here, and closed them pretty much break even. Just got out of it, taking that risk off the table. So let's start now with the quality trade of the day, the very clean supply rejection of the day. And that was right here. So here is coin, and you guys can see I entered pretty much at the top of day around 160. I'll go to the executions. Entered around that 160 and scaled out as we got the move. You can see these red arrows here signifying my exit. So let's jump into the charts and sort of talk about why I entered that Coinbase put. So guys, here's Coinbase on the chart. This is the 1 hour chart, and we can very clearly see this 160 level, right? We saw multiple rejections here previously at 160. On Thursday, we had rejections here. On Wednesday and Tuesday, we had rejections there. And then previously, this was some support. So a very nice supply level, and a level I wanted to look for some downside off of. Now, if we go into that 2-minute chart, right, you guys will see how this reacted early morning and what made me get into this position. So zooming into this 2-minute chart, this is market open today. I'll go ahead and put on the after hours so we can get a good idea of where that open was. And you guys can see right there, right? We had a very aggressive pop into that 160 supply, into that 20 SMA, and a gnarly rejection candle that I was willing to take some risk on. We had a nice continuation to the downside after that entry point, and I pretty much just scaled out of this one as we got the move lower. So this was textbook trade, right? Very nice follow through, clean action, clean rejection, right? I love this type of trade. This happens quite often. Now, of course, like today, let's say, for example, on the SPY, sometimes these supplies do not reject, right? And we'll get into that later on the SPY trade. But this was a perfect supply rejection right there. I'll go to the 30-minute chart. You guys can see very clearly these were previous supply levels, right? Wick highs, and we saw that very nice wick high come in today and a very aggressive follow through, which I was happy to take a clean profit off of. So that is how I started the day. If you guys want to watch this trade live, I posted it on my Instagram, my Twitter. Make sure to go check those out. Full live trade of that Coinbase trade right there. Nice way to start the day. Could have honestly just stepped away there, but I continued to see some opportunities that I wanted to take advantage of. So going back into this, right, we'll go back. That was the Coinbase trade. We'll go ahead and write supply rejection of a key level, really. Nice wick showing confirmation, right? That's really what it was. We had a nice wick confirmation. Entry due to the wick, right? And used that intraday high and supply level as my stop, right? That was pretty much the trade. It was a nice supply rejection trade, and that's where we started the day. Now, moving forward, the next trade of the day was Amazon, and Amazon was a very similar trade. You guys can see right here, we had a entry on puts up around this 148.50, 149 area, and I was scaling out as we got the slide to the downside. Made about $379 on this trade. And let's talk about why I took this trade. All right, so here's Amazon. And on Amazon, right, I was watching for Amazon to move back into these previous lows. Previous low, previous low, previous low, previous low. So I knew there was some heavy supply in this 148.50 to 149 area. Now, intraday, we got a very aggressive push up to that level. And if I go into the 2-minute chart, we can go ahead and really analyze where I was looking for this to start to reject. So here's the 2-minute chart, and you guys can see right here, we had a push, and as we started to approach my supply level, I started to enter those put options. So I'll go ahead and pull up TradeZella. I have it side by side. You can see my executions here on the right side. We have the chart here on the left side. My first entries were around here, around this 1007 and then this 1014 area. So 1007 is right up in here. 1007, 1014 was right after we got that flush. So I started to enter a position up at these highs as we approached that 148 to 149 supply. I was interested in seeing if that previous low, that previous 149 area, right in this area, I was interested to see if this would be a break, retest, and a rejection, right? That's what my idea was. Push back into that supply, start to see rejections, and take advantage of that play back to the downside. Now, this was one that I did well at taking my profits. So you can see here, I'll pull back in my executions, and I was pretty much scaling out all the way until the around 11:27 hour, which was down in this area here. I was really just looking for a retracement off that supply, looking for that downside to come in. I was very happy with this trade. If I go ahead and make this a little larger, you can see the chart with my executions, and that is right here, right? Entering up here, scaling out into the drop, using that supply level as my guide to look for that downside. That was the second trade of the day. And this was the last, in my opinion, quality trade of the day, right? Because from this point, I started to lose some money and I gave back some profits. Now, let's dive deep into my SPY play. I had 3 entries and 1 exit. And what was I looking for on this SPY play? To play downside and to look for that potential rejection, right? What was the idea behind this trade that lost me $900 and made me go from up about $1,500 on the day to closing the day up about $300, right? So let's go ahead and really dive deep into this SPY play. And let me first say, yes, I do believe that I got stuck in some type of a anomaly type day, right? I definitely know that I saw a pretty aggressive upside move, and I definitely did not expect to see this type of upside on the S&P 500 today, right? It happens, right? It happens. There's going to be those grinder days where you just continue higher, you keep moving up, and the market does not reject at supplies that you are looking for. That is what happened today. And the key of this trade and the key takeaway from this trade is that I stopped out, right? Because there are moves like this that will make you try to stay in it. It will make you try to stay in the trade. It will keep you interested. It'll keep you in. You're not going to want to exit. You're going to want to hold. You're going to want to hold and hope that it eventually rejects. But for me, there were some very clear reasons why I had to exit this trade, and I'll share with you that today. So let's go into the 30-minute chart on the SPY, on the ES futures first, because I was very closely watching the ES futures for this trade idea. I was watching anywhere between this 47.71 and this Thursday high around this 47.65, right? This was my supply level that I was eyeing here on the S&P 500 futures. So right here, we had a move between 47.66.65 and 47.71, right? Why that area? Why was I watching that area on the S&P 500 for potential rejections? Well, we had the Tuesday lows, we had the Wednesday highs, we had the Thursday highs, and we had that Friday high sort of up here as well. And I was looking at, hey, we're pushing back up into the supply level. I've seen rejections at these levels in the past, right? And I know, hey, I could probably catch something as a rejection off the supply, right? Very possible. So I started to watch to see if I could catch a rejection up at that level. Now, if I go into the 5-minute chart and we look at that level, you can see there were some signs of some weakness at this area. This is where I really started to enter that position, right? We pushed into that supply level. We started to see some wick rejections. We got an aggressive sell-off candle, and I said, okay, I like this for potential entries. Let me try to play the supply rejection. This is the same thing that happened both Thursday and Friday, the exact same type of trade. So logically, right, I'm going to try it again, right? And so do I take anything away from this trade? Should you take anything away from taking that trade if you are a trader and you tried to play the supply rejection today? No, I really don't think you can blame yourself for trying to take a trade that worked in the last few days, right? Repetition. In my opinion, this could have worked again today, right? At the time, in real time, you could have seen that same level reject once again. Unfortunately, today, it was one of those days that you just continued to grind higher, and the key is that you have to stop out, right? And so for me, my stop out, my ultimate stop out was over that 47.71 level. And if I go here, it's around that 1 o'clock, 107 was when I stopped out. And 107 is right around here when we started to push over that or near that 47.71, 47.72 level. That is when I said to myself, all right, I just don't see this happening. I don't see the weakness stepping in. I have to accept that this thing is just grinding, and I'm just not seeing the supply rejections that I originally was looking for. So unfortunately, I had to stop out of this trade. And you know what, man? If I didn't, it would have been a really ugly end of day for me. You can see from that point, it just ripped, and that would have been an ugly, ugly loss. So if there's anything to take away from this video, if you're going to play a supply rejection, right, or any kind of rejection play, have that stop loss in place and do not go against it, right? Especially in a grind to the upside. Do not go against that stop loss. You have to accept that you're incorrect, and that is exactly what happened to me today. So if we go over to the SPY, there is some analysis there as well, and the reasoning why I took that trade, right? And you can see it's the same thing on the SPY, right? So we'll go to this area right here. This is that area that I was looking for that SPY rejection to come in at. I had that Wednesday high. I had that Thursday high. I had that Tuesday low, and I was looking to see if I could get that 20 SMA and that 471 area rejection. It's pretty much the same as the S&P 500 futures. It's the same type of setup. And unfortunately, we grinded through it and we held above it. So right here, you can see on Wednesday, we had that high of around that 471.30. And if we go into today's price action, you are going to see that we perfectly held above that area. And that's where I had to get out, right? Right here, look at how the SPY held above that area. That was previous rejection points on Wednesday. And that right there was where I said, cut it, accept it. It hurts because I had a really nice day going. I did like the setup, but I had to accept the loss. So that was really the last trade of my day. That's where I did give my profits back today. But moral of the story here, guys, in my opinion, is that supply rejection is still a quality trade idea, right? It is still a quality idea to look for. Even on a day like today where this thing just grinds you through, grinds higher, stops you out, it's still a quality idea in my eyes, right? And so I don't take anything back against that. And if you took a loss taking a trade like that, you can't get so down on yourself. You can't say to yourself, oh man, I can't believe I gave back those profits. I can't believe I took that trade. You can't say those things in hindsight. Look at the trade logically. Understand why you took it. And if it makes sense, which in my opinion it does, you just got to go ahead and limit those losses, focus on that risk management, and move forward to the next day. That's really all you can do at that point. It was a grinder. It was beautiful upside. There was one thing, and one thing only, that I would say I could have taken into better consideration. I could have taken into consideration to not get me into these puts on the SPY. And here it was, right? This was the one thing that I believe could have stopped me from taking that loss on the SPY. And it is the NASDAQ futures. So early morning, before the SPY even got close to that supply rejection level, the NASDAQ futures broke above a key level right here. That Thursday high and Friday high. The NASDAQ was a monster today. And pretty much right near open, the NASDAQ held above that Thursday and Friday high right here. Thursday, right? Friday. And pretty much 10 minutes after open, the NASDAQ was flying above that level. So this was different, right, than what we saw previously. Previously, the NASDAQ drove that downside move, and the SPY rejected with it. Today, early morning, that NASDAQ had some juice behind it, probably because of that NVIDIA rip. And that may have been the one thing that I could have considered and done better today. And maybe that's a takeaway for this video as well. Make sure you're watching both futures contracts, understanding what's strong in the market. And if I saw that NASDAQ strength today, maybe it was right of me to say to myself, NASDAQ is just too strong right now to be trying this supply rejection on SPY, and maybe that saves me from taking that loss. So overall, I just wanted to recap my day with you guys. I hope you enjoy these recaps. I'm being fully open with you, really just documenting my trading, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you take it as a learning experience, a learning lesson. If you're down in the comments hating on me for taking losses, you need to reconsider, right, yourself as a trader, right? Real traders take losses, they review them, they understand them, and if you're along for the ride with me because of that, I appreciate it. I appreciate your support, and I will continue to do this for you guys here on the channel. So with that said, press that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for more. Jump into the pre-market live stream tomorrow. We'll do that NQES analysis tomorrow in the live stream, so make sure to check that out. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.